Coach Spencer here. Today we're reviewing the Project 008 from Selkirk. A quick disclaimer, I am a Selkirk advocate and they did give me a discount on purchasing this paddle, but the thoughts and opinions of this review are my own. Let's get started. What makes the 008 series special is the introduction of Selkirk's entirely dense foam core technology they are calling Pure Foam. The benefits of a dense foam core resides mainly in durability and quality control. The last 2 years have been plagued with paddle manufacturing issues, the latest being core crushing. The foam core is a response to those issues. It also gives improved dwell time and a lighter overall weight. The version of the Project 008 that I have is the 13mm in the tour shape. The 13mm also comes in the Invicta and Epic shapes, but the 16mm only comes in the tour shape. A 10mm power option will be available eventually, but there's less known about that at this time. On screen, I have the Selkirk provided stats along with an independent tester's results. The major thing to notice is the swing and twist weights. Typically, a lower twist weight correlates to a smaller sweet spot. That doesn't seem to be the case with foam core paddles. The lighter swing weight does result in very fast hand speed. I went with the tour shape for a couple of reasons. First off, I had gotten used to the shape while using the Project 006. I like the longer handle for my two-handed backhands, and in general, I just think it's more aesthetically pleasing. I typically only use 16mm paddles as I prefer the extra control, but wanted to give the 13mm a chance on the 008. Coming from the Vanguard Control Invicta, I immediately noticed more pop off the paddle and a slightly higher pitched noise. Here's the 008 sound in comparison to a few other Selkirk paddles. At first, the only modification I made to this paddle was an overgrip. I didn't put my hexacore grip on it, and I didn't add any additional weight at that time. After trying this paddle out in a variety of drills, I would put the 008 13mm in an all-core category, leaning towards control. I found that my resets were not as crisp as if I was using a control paddle, and my full stroke shots didn't have the same power of a power paddle. But instead, it fits into this kind of happy medium in between. If you were coming from one of those hotter power paddles on the market today, the 008 13mm will seem like a control paddle to you. After feeling a bit off during drills, what surprised me was how well I played with this paddle. As it turns out, I benefited greatly from the increased hand speed in those spicy hand paddles. Due to the increased dwell time of the foam core, I liked the touch of this paddle. And it has decent spin, but all new paddles worth looking at have good spin these days, so take that with a grain of salt. Overall, I really like this paddle, and I'm actually planning to use it as my main paddle going forward. So, who would I recommend this paddle for? The first factor is whether or not a full foam core paddle is right for you. If you are frustrated with the durability of your paddles in the past, particularly if you hit really hard and have had to deal with crushed cores, or your paddle greatly changes how it plays in the first month of playing with it, then I would highly recommend going with a full foam core paddle. As a mechanical engineer, I really think this is the future of pickleball paddles. Now let's compare it to another full foam core paddle on the market, the Carbon Genesis True Foam series. The Selkirk 008 Pure Foam leans more towards control, whereas the Genesis True Foam leans more towards power. If you prefer more control, then this Selkirk would be the better fit for you. Both paddles are on the lighter side, but between the two, the 008 is even lighter. And this is one of the bigger factors in my opinion. The lighter the stock weight of a paddle, the more you can customize it to match what you want. Want to turn your 008 into a power paddle? Add weight to the end of the paddle. Want to increase its stability? Add weight to the sides. Want to bring the balance point in? Add weight to the handle. One of the biggest mistakes a person can make with this paddle is not customize it. I guarantee you every pro that uses this paddle has their own unique setup on it. So far I've added 0.05 ounces to the bottom corners, expanding the sweet spot without slowing down my hand speed very much, and soon I'm going to try out adding weight to the top corners as well to do a 4 corners power build to see how it works. These types of customizations are much easier to do with a lighter paddle because you don't have the option of removing weight. Like, what would you do? Take a grinder to the edge guard and hope the paddle stays together? I hope you have found this review helpful. Please consider using my Afghan code at checkout for a digital gift card for all your purchases at selkirk.com or selkirklabs.com. It helps support this channel and me as a pickleball coach.